What's cracking, everyone? This is SK for Whiskey and RPGs, and if you're new to the channel, we always start off each new week with a new drink as well, and we got something special today. Today's drink of the week. By the way, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, but drink of the week is brought to you by Tin Cup here, and as the name suggests, you also get a little tin shot glass. I mean, not made out of glass, but you get the idea. And I really like gimmicky things like this. If you've known me for a while, you know I love gimmicks, especially when it comes to comic books, that was pretty much the 1990s if you follow my channel for any length of time. But yeah, we got Tin Cup whiskey here. But yeah, we got a lot of news to cover today, and I hope you got your glasses with me with your beverage of choice, and let's cover the news together, shall we? Cheers to you guys. So the first bit of news that we have for you today comes from MassivelyOP.com, and this is for all the Division 2 fans out there. Division 2 takes a closer look at the factions in Warlords of New York. Now that players of the Division 2 are headed back to New York, it's time to take a moment to assess the threats there. That was one of the subjects brought up in the most recent State of the Game wrap-up, which granted a brief rundown of the factions waiting in the Warlords of New York expansion. As one would expect, there are returning factions like the Rikers and Cleaners, but they have since gotten some new hardcore and new tactics to make them more threatening than before. The Rikers have swelled in their ranks outside of former criminals, making them more like a small army. So yeah, this is a game that's really interesting that I've always wanted to play because I'm such a military buff, and yeah, if this is something that you would like to come back to, just to let you know that there is a new update for you. But this does increase the level cap to level 40, and there will be some changes for those who have the update or the expansion and those who don't, and it continues on. The update also takes a moment to answer some of the player questions about the upcoming expansion and what it means for those who are only playing Division 2 base game. Those answers confirm that Dark Zone PvP will be split up between level 30 and the new level 40. The new level 40 cap, and that level 40 players can take part in level 30 raids, but not vice versa. Incidentally, playing with higher or lower level players will reward your character gear specific to your level as well. So that way you're able to play together with other players regardless of whether or not you have the expansion or not. But yeah, and continuing on with MassivelyOP.com, Shroud of the Avatar readies for the Mistinder Land Rush. I know I'm butchering that, so I do apologize. There's a new parcel of land upcoming to Shroud of the Avatar, and already players are itching to stake a claim and build on its stretches. The latest Avatars update posts have offered at least an initial glimpse of how the coming land rush is going to shake down for those who are already on the move. So this is really interesting. I guess they're really going more towards that sort of sandbox, persistent world, sort of player housing and farming and stuff like that. Maybe something similar to what you see in ArcAge and ArcAge Unchained. I'm not too sure. I never really played Shadow of the Avatar. So if you're looking for, you know, to claim your own plot, I don't know if it's too late, because the article does cite that I guess there's like some sort of pre-registration that you have to do, and there's different brackets, and it says here starting on 1 p.m. EST on Sunday, February 29th until March 3rd, there will be a total of 7 bracket of selections with timing and other salient details available on the forum post. So I guess there's going to be waves of when you could actually purchase land in the game. So if this is something that might interest you, and if you are a Shroud of the Avatar fan, definitely check them out at, again, MassivelyOP.com, or go to their official forum post at shroudoftheavatar.com right here. So yeah. And continuing on, mobile MMO TERA Hero shows off PvP, PvE, and raid fights in the new video. So I'll have the sort of the new trailers playing up in the top right there. But yeah, the folks over at MMO Culture, I probably should head on over to their page then, have pulled together some new videos of Korean mobile version of TERA, otherwise known as TERA Hero, which was formerly known as TERA Frontier. Got the name sorted out? Good, let's get to the gameplay. TERA Hero will apparently be character-based, with 18 different characters players can earn through the gameplay. Oh, you have to earn them. Okay, and not gacha mechanics. The majority of the gameplay is tuned for a 3-character party experience, including PvP and PvE, though the raid boss encounter included in the video package has multiple teams of 3 attacking the same creature, so it appears that there's some cooperative gaming to be had in that regard. TERA Hero will launch in Korea Thursday, March 5th, and there are currently no plans to bring the game to the West, but time will tell on that front. You can take a look at the gameplay yourself. So yeah, this is interesting. I guess is instead of right off the bat having characters that you create and choose and play through along that creation, you actually have to earn the characters, and maybe that's where the hero comes from. And so yeah, it's an interesting mechanic, and when it comes out to the West, or hopefully when it comes out to the West, I'll definitely do a first impression video. But again, because it's a mobile title, I'm not exactly sure if I'll stick with it. Those of you guys who know me know that I have my sort of biases against mobile titles for various reasons, but that's neither here or there. So, and heading on over to IGN.com, Anthem's fans celebrate the game's first birthday, even if BioWare didn't. Wow. Again, this is from IGN.com. Anthem turned 1 year old this weekend, but despite the milestone, developer BioWare held no in-game celebration nor recognized the day on the BioWare or Anthem Twitter feeds. While the developer may have decided not to celebrate the game's birthday, Anthem fans took to Reddit to cheer it on. Anthem turned 1 year old on February 22nd, as perhaps a sign as to the game's current state. Christmas decorations from the Iceland event is still litter on the fronts of Taurus Social Hub, if that's how you say it, or Tarsus Social Hub, and snow still falls gently from the sky. These are not replaced with birthday or anniversary elements to mark Anthem's 12 months of being live, unlike what many other MMOs or shared world games typically do. So skimming through the article, I'm not exactly sure if the players actually got in-game player-made in-game events going on or anything like that, but it did say that, you know, they did montages and, you know, player fan-made artwork for the game and stuff like that. But I think the overall article is saying that the anniversary wasn't recognized by anyone from BioWare or EA, and so fans of the game, and I know there are those of you who are out there, decided to take upon themselves to do the celebrations for themselves, and good on them. You know, it's I know this game sold a lot of copies, but in terms of concurrent players who still play the game, I'm not exactly sure, but I know it's not that much, unfortunately. But there you have it. And we head on over to Gematsu.com. Bandai Namco trademarks Last Cradle and Ring in Japan. Sony trademarks PS5. So just real quick, in industry news, Bandai Namco has filed trademarks Last Cradle in Japan. The company also filed the trademark for Ring, as well as for the 2020 due PlayStation 4 title Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme vs. Maxi Boost On. The article also goes on to say that Sega filed trademark for Sonic the Hedgehog, and Sony trademarked the PlayStation 5 logo as well. So lots of good things to look forward to. I don't know what the Last Cradle is. I don't know what the Ring is either. I don't know if they're established IPs in Japan already, or if it's new IP. It's probably a new IP, and even more so, I don't even know if they're RPGs or not. But just to let you know, that's what Bandai Namco is up to. Now we head on over to MMORPG.com, and a little bit more industry news. Crytek and Cloud Imperium Games come to agreement in a lawsuit, and this lawsuit has been going on for what, like 2-3 years maybe? Very long time, and it's finally good to see that some closure is being made here. Remember that lawsuit between Star Citizen's Cloud Imperium Games and Crytek? Well, it appears to have been settled. To recap, the lawsuit largely involved around Crytek's engine, CryEngine, and whether or not CIG was licensed to use it for its development of Star Citizen. CIG had claimed that by switching to another engine, Lumberyard, no contact breach was had. They even requested a dismissal. Well, it appears that the lawsuit has been settled through an agreement. Right now, it doesn't look like any details have been shared other than, quote, they have reached an agreement in principle in terms to settle this action in its entirety and are working to document the terms of their agreement. 30 days have been requested to file a joint stipulation of dismissal. So again, we don't know the details regarding the settlement or the conclusion of the settlement rather, but in any event, I hope that if they are able to settle this, Chris Roberts is able to, really focus on developing the game and, instead of having to worry about other things, just really focus on developing the game and finally give us a release date. And to continue on with the Star Citizen news, and again with MMORPG.com, Star Citizen roadmap Roundup include additions to Alpha 4.0. Star Citizen's roadmap Roundup includes changes to new targeting methodology and high-speed combat, plus changes to the Alpha 4.1.0 card. Specific to the new targeting methodology, the high-speed combat, both cards have been moved to Alpha 4.0 column so that they can align with the ship HUD network. Additionally, the Alpha 4.1 column has now been added to the PU roadmap. PU? I don't know what that yeah, I don't know what PU stands for, unfortunately. I'm sure it'll come to me eventually. It includes the following. So you got object push and pull, missile operator mode, ship AI, FPS, combat improvements and polishing, weapon handling, Mercury runner. So yeah, it's good that they're they always do this roadmap roundup at the end of every month, if I'm not mistaken, and this list looks pretty comprehensive, but just remember that the game is still in alpha and not beta. And yeah, I'm gonna avoid the comment section because I know there are gonna be lots of salt there, if you know what I mean. So let's just move on. And continuing on with MMORPG.com, Blade and Soul producers letters look at 2020 roadmap. The latest producer's letter for Blade & Soul has dropped, outlining what the team has planned for in 2020. The letter from senior producer Nico Countant begins by looking back on year 3 of the game, recounting some of the updates. This includes the Zen Archer, which proved to be very popular. He also provided stats on the players. In 2019, players leveled up 12,718,550 times. Almost 2 million brave warriors lost their lives in PvP battles, and the players completed roughly 11.5 million daily challenges. The most important statistic, as I think you'll agree, that over 51 million fish were caught, thanks largely in part of the introduction of auto fishing. See, I read about that, and when you think of auto fishing, I automatically think of the AFK fishing system in Black Desert Online. I don't know if they're moving more towards a sort of sandbox mechanic, but again, I haven't played this game in a while, and that's overdue. So, year 4 this year includes the 3rd specialization upgrade for Force Master in June. Some other details include Heroic Dungeon, new belt, new necklace, new skill upgrade, Hung Moon level cap increase. So if you don't know what Hong Moon level is, it's a leveling system, a part 2 leveling system you get after you reach max level on your character. It's very similar to how Star Wars The Old Republic plays, if you played that. And just to give it some similarities or some context, so after you reach max level on your character, you get something, or it used to be called command levels, and that one went up from level 1 to 300. It no longer has that. They call it something else now, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's like just a continuation of a level, and every level that you would get a reward and stuff like that. So that's what the Hong Moon level cap, or the Hong Moon level, is. In April, you get the Rise of the Silver Steel storyline part 2, more gear. In May, more weapon tiers, Silver Steel Raid Part 2, and in June, like it said before, Force Master 3rd specialization. I'm definitely interested in that. And just to give you a heads up, Bless Unleashed details Head Start events for Founders Pack purchases. So again, this is only for the Xbox One version. I think I do believe there is a PC version in development, but I really don't know anything about that. And there's also a mobile version too, as I covered last time. But yeah, reading the article, if you're interested in the launch of Bless Unleashed to the point that you bought the Founders Edition pack for the game, you're not only getting a jump on the game's official free-to-play launch, but you're also getting some special events unique to the Head Start players. Starting on January 26th at 1 p.m. EST, Head Start players will get a daily login reward every day until the official free-to-play launch on March 10th. See, I didn't know this game was free-to-play. Again, gonna not go to the comment section because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be lots of salt there too. So heading on over back to MMORPG.com, World of Warcraft outlines upcoming class balance changes. Blizzard has shared class balance changes coming to World of Warcraft on February 25th. The changes are set to release alongside the weekly maintenance and touch on the Druid, Hunter, Monk, Shaman, Mage, Warlock, PvP, and more. There are full patch notes, including changes. And if you look at the list, a lot of these classes have its skill or damage of all abilities increased by 5 for the Monk and Windwalker. Mage, if you're a Frost Mage, damage of all abilities increased by 5%. If you're an Enchantment Shaman, again, damage of all abilities by 3%. And yeah, seems like a very comprehensive changes to all the classes. So if you want to check out some of the things that are detailed within the update, definitely head on over to MMORPG.com or go to World of Warcraft's official forum post. And really quick, I thought this was a pretty cool article. And am I biased? Yeah, obviously, because as you can see, I'm AFK fishing here in Black Desert Online. But as somebody who loves MMOs, and I know you guys probably love MMOs too, otherwise why would you be here, right, watching this channel? But I believe that the MMO market is shrinking, or at least you could say that the golden age of MMOs have long been past. And so I always would love to see MMOs succeed, even if it's an MMO I don't like or don't want to play, because it's the more demand for games like this exists, the more the companies will make games for us. And so I'm always rooting for games, no matter how bad or how much I may disagree with maybe the cash shop and stuff like that. But anyways, Pearl Abyss America CEO talks about the MMO market and Black Desert Online success. And this is brought to you by MassivelyOP.com. It's a good sign that Black Desert Online has been not just a flash in the pan, but an ongoing success in the MMO field, even as that field is windowed somewhat. But Pearl Abyss America CEO's Chonghee Jin is quick to point out that the smaller field doesn't mean that competition between titles is any less intense than that it was during the gold rush a few years back. That is something I completely agree with. She specifically notes that the market is diverging between more old-schooled experiences and a bigger, more polished games, with success requiring an ongoing commitment to the game. Again, also agree with that statement. So yeah, if you want to read more about her interview with MassivelyOP.com, definitely check out the article from their webpage. And yeah, this article was, again, produced by Elliot, whose name I still can't pronounce. Elliot, if you ever watch this, I apologize for not being able to say your last name, despite the fact that I cover and love many of your articles. So please forgive me. And heading on back over to IGN.com, I thought I'd cover this just briefly because I know there's a lot of Fire Emblem fans out there, especially some of the old school players from the PS1 days, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Fire Emblem Three Houses Wiki Guide, and this was brought to you by IGN.com. In Fire Emblem Three Houses, you have increased chances to bond with your students and other characters by inviting them for tea. This can be done by either when exploring the Garage Mock Monastery, I think that's how you say it, I apologize if that's not how you do it, or say it rather, and interacting with characters in your house, or talking to characters outside your house who have at least C support when choosing to celebrate a character's birthday during a week. So I don't know if I've long lost or haven't really kept up to date with Fire Emblem. I don't know if this is a fairly newer game, but in any event, IGN did publish a really cool article about some of the mechanics of this tea party, whatever conversation mechanic they have in the game. So if this is something that tickles your fancy, then definitely head on over to IGN.com for those details. And heading on over back to MassivelyOP.com, article written by Chris Neal. Torchlight 3 discusses adjustments being made to combat, skill progression, and harvesting. This is a game I'm not very familiar with, so let's move on. With Torchlight 3 firmly in its current phase of alpha, the folks over at Extra Games, or Ectra Games, sorry if I'm butchering that, which I most likely am, are keen to address some of the more major points of player feedback since update 10 has been out in the wild. And they've outlined the plan in a dev blog. So if you're somebody who's interested in Torchlight 3, I believe this is some sort of ARPG. Let's look it up. So yeah, looking at their Steam page, the publisher is Perfect World Entertainment. Interesting. Okay. Again, we got the company name there, and it's an RPG adventure action RPG. So it's a top-down sort of, I guess, like a Diablo-style RPG. I might have to look into this. Again, this game is still in its alpha. It kind of has that bubbly sort of aesthetic to it. And anyways. So going back to the article, it looks like they are implementing new ways of adjusting the level bonuses, especially if you're somebody who played Torchlight 2, which I've never have, didn't even... Yeah, so if this is something that floats your boat, definitely check out MassivelyOP.com to read more about their current alpha build. Heading on over back to MMORPG.com, Borderlands 3 next campaign add-on being revealed at PAX East. Borderlands 3 will be at PAX East, where you'll get the first chance to see the new campaign add-on. Gearbox main theater show is set for 2:30 p.m. through 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, February 27th. You'll be able to watch on official Borderlands Twitch channel, as well as on the Gearbox Twitch Mixer YouTube channels as well. If you're attending in person, the show will take place in the main theater of the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center. If you're somebody who played a lot of City of Villains and City of Heroes back when that game was still up and was kind of irritated, to put it softly, at NCSoft's handle of the game and shutting the servers down, there's a game that is very similar to that, and has that very old school style similar to the aforementioned game, and it's called Ship of Heroes. And it grants a new look, a new martial arts melee power set in a video. It takes a special kind of superhero to go into a fight against the forces superheroes face with nothing but your fists and feet. But that's the modus operandi for a number of them, and soon players in Ship of Heroes will get the chance to make one of their very own with new martial arts melee power set. This new set and a focus on better melee combat was the subject of the latest video in the game. So I believe this game is still in development. I don't know if an alpha has been released. I haven't really been keeping up with it, but as it says here, so just skimming through the article, I thought this was really cool. The footage should showcase some notable improvements to animations in the game, as the devs have been paying attention to melee combat speed in titles like Black Desert instead of the speed of melee in the game like City of Heroes or WoW. As such, the speed of the fight is less stand in there and take your licks and a bit more fast paced. So even if the game does look a bit outdated, it looks like they're still trying to be a little bit more modern in terms of their gameplay and fighting mechanics. So, and really quick, we head on over to Gematsu.com, where Cyberpunk 2077 for Xbox One owners will receive Xbox Series X upgrade for free. That's a lot of X's. Users who purchase Cyberpunk 2077 for the Xbox One will receive the Xbox Series X upgrade for free when available, a tweet from the game's official Twitter account confirmed. The tweet reads, "Gamers should never be forced to purchase the same game twice or pay for upgrades. Owners of hashtag Cyberpunk 2077 for the Xbox One will receive the Xbox Series X upgrade for free when available." Whether this is the first confirmation of the Xbox Series X version of Cyberpunk 2077, or whether this means that the Xbox One X version of the game will receive a patch that will make it run and look better when played on the Xbox Series X, remains unconfirmed. when Gamatsu reached out to developer CD Projekt Red for clarification. The representative said, "We're very sorry, but we have nothing to add beyond what the tweet says." So regardless, I think this is I could get behind that. You know, if you bought a game and you upgrade to a different console, I think it's really cool that they're giving you the same game for free without having to upgrade or buy another copy. And I know that was definitely a problem, I guess, in the earlier console wars, maybe 5th or 6th generation. I don't know what generation this is going to be with the PS5 and the next Xbox. I believe it's the 9th, but don't quote me on that. Now, this is going to be definitely for my old school players, but do you guys remember Anarchy Online? Man, I can't believe this game is still up and running, which is really impressive, and it's really cool that it still is. But yeah, Anarchy Online kicks off anniversary event celebrating 1 year of its classic server. See, I didn't even know they had a classic server, Ruby Kai 2019. It was the summer of 2001. Yeah, 2001. I believe that's the same year EVE Online also came out, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it was the summer of 2001. Dystopian sci-fi was at its apex, and everyone I knew was trying Anarchy Online. And by trying, I mean trying to play through one of the worst launches in MMO history. That I do remember. That I do remember. It was just full of bugs. It crashed all the time, and just trying to get through and play through the game was just a nightmare. Anyhow, you might be wondering how this is relevant because it's not summer and we're nowhere near the game's actual anniversary, but we are near the first anniversary of the game's classic progression server, Ruby Kai in 2019. Oh, okay, my mistake then. I thought this was the actual anniversary of the original game, but they did a progression server back in 2019. That's what they're celebrating. Funcom means to take it as an excuse to party. Hey, it's always good to party, right? Cheers to parties, right? The studio is promising 5 classic world bosses, remixes, and revamp to new mechanics and challenges, plus new unique armor and loot along the serpentine armor pieces too. Keep an eye out for more news to come, the team concludes. So, as somebody who's been playing MMOs for the vast majority of my life, it just really warms my heart that this game is still up and running, and I hope they continue to have much success. So continuing on with MassivelyOP.com, an article written by Bree Royce. Multiplayer RPG Portal Knights just got a new DLC with druids, fur folk, wow, I can't even say that, and new mounts. It's been a hot minute since we last checked in with Portal Knights. We're rectifying that someday. Gamers will recall that the game was originally an online co-op title, but last summer it got a full-blown MMORPG on the side in China. Big sigh, right? Anyhow, the here playable version of the game just snagged an update of its own on PC, PS4, Xbox One. It's the Druid Furfolk and Relic Defense DLC, and it's running around $9 on Steam right now. And the game itself is on sale for a hair under $8. So let's go check this out. I've actually never heard of this title. So again, this is an action sandbox multiplayer RPG. Has very positive. So recent reviews very positive. All reviews very positive. And that's out of over 12,000 reviews. It's a very simple aesthetics. Very cartoony, almost similar to World of Warcraft in a sense, but not as cartoony. But yeah. So heading on over back to MMORPG.com, weapon tweaks is a big focus for Bungie this week and Destiny 2. The changes touch on a host of weapons, including Izanagi's Burden, snipers, grenade launchers, Lord of Wolves, The Last Word. Oh, sorry. Shotguns, fusion rifles, and auto rifles, according to the team. Damage value, ranges, and even reload canceling are on the table this time around. We know one of the first questions on your mind will be, is this a Crucible-centric update, or will the PvE get changes this season as well? These changes will be hitting at the beginning of the next season, while some of these changes are in preparation for the new PvE challenges hitting later this current season. So yeah, I mean, I never played Destiny 2. I know it should be a game that I should have have under my belt, but it's not, unfortunately. But yeah, if you're a Destiny 2 fan, just be on the lookout for some changes coming your way here pretty soon. And just real quick, sticking with MMORPG.com, they have an article that says Guild Wars 2 balancing patch notes shared ahead of release. And just skimming through the article, it says, in general, casting time of control skills will see an increase. Additionally, the team changes the access to stability and stun breaks. The patch touches on Elementalist, Engineer, Guardian, Mesmer, Necromancer, Ranger, Revenant, Thief, and Warrior classes. Here are some general notes. Aura effects have been updated to be larger and more noticeable. The previous more subtle aura effects are now used for auras on allies and for all characters viewed by PvP spectators when the effect LOD option is checked in the graphic settings. And also blockable skills and traits that grant the blockable status now use a unified effect. The effect is intensity stacking, and stacks are lost whenever attacks hit or miss. So I don't know if these are really huge changes. I haven't played Guild Wars 2 in a number of years, unfortunately, but I remember it being very fun, especially the World v World aspect of it. Or no, I'm sorry, not World v World. WVW, right? Yeah. Man, it hasn't been that long, has it? I guess it has. Yeah, if you're still playing Guild Wars 2, you got something to look forward to in some of the changes to PvP. And sticking to MMORPG.com, I wanted to bring up news from Neverwinter. I do apologize, I really don't know what's really going on with this game because I never played it. But yeah, it says Neverwinter patch brings tweaks to combat, systems, UI, and more. The team first acknowledged a known issue where the client can crash if you have a buyback log of 50 or more items. This is planned to be fixed in the next release. Here are some patch notes to this current release. And yeah, so if you're somebody who still plays this game, just know that it looks like you're getting a lot of user interface upgrades, changes to item and economy, combat, and powers as well. So yeah, this is a long-running MMO, and definitely one of the older ones, and I'm still happy that this game is still up and running. Alright, so for the last bit of news, there are a few games I wanted to cover that doesn't necessarily fit within the MMO and RPG realm, but I really wanted to cover anyways because they have some way is just a big news in general, or it's just near and dear to my heart, as such as this next article. And we head on over to Gematsu.com. Streets of Rage 4 launches this spring. Floyd Iria, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and multiplayer's trailer. So for those of you guys who don't know, Streets of Rage is one of those franchises that started, I believe, in the late 80s, maybe early 90s, and it was a co-op fighter game, and I had so much fun with this game as a kid, and I would used to play it just hours on end with my friends who had a Sega Genesis. I think my favorite one is Streets of Rage 3, and you know, unlocking, I believe his name was Shinobi or some sort of ninja character, and you had like a 30 life code that you could do, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So this particular game really tickles my heart. But reading on, Streets of Rage 4 will launch for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam this spring. Publisher Dotemu announced, I believe that's how you say it, a new release trailer introduced final playable characters, Floyd Irea, again I'm butchering that name, as well as the game's two player online and 4-player offline multiplayer support. Oh, that is so cool. You can have up to 4 players now, but it kind of sucks it's only for offline content, but I'll still take it. So yeah, hopefully it won't be claimed. I'm gonna be playing the trailer, as you can see up at the top, but I'm very excited about this one, and some of you on the older end of the gaming sort of demographic will probably remember this title as well too. Resident Evil 3 Remake and Resident Evil Resistance screenshots leaked, and this is brought to you by Gematsu.com. Several new screenshots of Resident Evil 3 Remake and accompanying multiplayer game Resident Evil Resistance have leaked ahead of new previews reportedly planned to go live on February 25th, which will be tomorrow. So I really want to try to build up my brand and be somewhat family friendly as well as ethical. I'm not going to be showing the leaked pictures as of yet. I just wanted to let you know, if those of you who are interested, maybe I shouldn't even cover this at all, but it it is still news at the end of the day, and even though I won't be showing you any of the screenshots, just know that they are available if you head on over to gematsu.com and click on this little blank box with the share button. It is there, but yeah, I won't be playing it here, but if you would like to, definitely go to their website to check it out. And to kind of further go on the sort of Resident Evil 3 news, we have more information from GameSpot, and the Resident Evil 3 remake for $43 plus more excellent discounts in the Capcom PC sale. That is really interesting. Capcom has released some of the best games in the past few years. Hits like Monster Hunter World, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Devil May Cry 5. We'll see if that trend continues come April 3rd when Resident Evil 3 Remake arrives on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Right now, you can save 27% on your pre-order at Green Man Gaming, dropping the price of Resident Evil 3's PC version to $43.79 as part of GMG's Capcom publisher sale. Most of the games offered in the sale, including Resident 3, are Steam codes. So yeah, if you actually head on over to Green Man Gaming, you'll get the Steam discounted price of $43.79 here, which is pretty awesome. And also going back to GameSpot.com, it says Xbox Series X will be backwards compatible with every previous Xbox generation, and this is really cool news. Max, wow. I'm glad this is the last article. My goodness. Microsoft has revealed a plethora of new information regarding its next generation console, the Xbox Series X. Among all the technical talk is confirmation that Xbox backwards compatibility stands with Series X and the ability to play games from every Xbox generation yet, which is really cool. I applaud Microsoft for doing this. If you guys remember, not too long ago, back when Xbox 360 and the PS3 was a thing, I believe one of the CEOs or CFOs or something like that said, "Who wants backwards compatibility? That's truly backwards." And I remember just a ton of backlash from gamers and the gaming community as well. So maybe they learned from that, you know, who knows? And yeah, so if you're gonna be getting the Xbox Series X, just know that you still have a full library of games that's backwards compatible, so good on them. And that does it for today's MMO and RPG news roundup. Again, you'll notice that I rebranded the segment. It's no longer MMO and RPG news podcast. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm just, you know, consolidating all the news that I find as I go through all these sites, putting them together in a bite-sized sort of video segment where I could, you know, share the news and let you guys know what's going on with some of the favorite games or your favorite games out there as well as mine. So yeah, this sort of system where I go through the news articles isn't new. I did see a number of YouTubers actually doing this, and those particular YouTubers are political channels, and because I really don't want to get political here, I'm really not going to say which those channels are, which I should give credit where credit is due, but just know that a lot of people who do cover the news in general, especially topics of politics and current events, do similar things that I do. But rather than having, say, you know, MMORPG.com, they have an article from, say, CNN or Fox and, you know, all these other news outlets, and just kind of give their 2 cents as well as they go through the news as well. But again, you know, this isn't a political channel. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, lean left or right. Everybody's welcome here, so long as you guys enjoy MMOs and RPGs and just gaming in general, well as you know, some whiskey as well on the side. But if you don't drink, you're still welcome here too, like I said before earlier in the creation of this channel. Anyways, I'm preaching, I'm blabbing on, I gotta get editing, and I hope you guys enjoyed the content that I've made so far. But yeah, I just want to thank you again if you guys made it with me so far. It does help, the watch time does help with the algorithms. And yeah, until then, I hope you guys have a blessed night, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.